The event that brought forth the dark tide, it must have been my death. After that, the details of the story blur. It repeated so many times. It's hard to remember everything. All I remember is wandering the desolate city streets in a Septimont corrupted by the dark tide, unable to escape, until I met Cartathea. She saved me. But in that story, we couldn't fully resolve the source of the disaster. Then in another story, I encountered you, my fellow warrior. After we parted, I awoke in yet another story, in the Vale of Glory, where I finally saw the Threnodian's true form in the submerged aqueducts. It had taken control of Mia's corpse, and was using the Fraxidus' Sonoro to grow its power. After defeating it, the Sonoro began to collapse. I passed through those crumbling pages to find you. Is there anything else you want to know? I'll hold nothing back. My death. Well, I'll start from the very beginning. My journey to win the championship. I had failed to expose the family's match-fixing. After being deceived by Domina Julia and winning the title on my own, my memories became a blur. I was probably under some form of control. The last thing I clearly remember was standing in the central hub in the Vale of Glory, pressing my spear into something that resembled a control panel. Then the dark tide began to surge. In the end, all of Septimont was swallowed by it. I'm not sure when all this started, or where the line between the reality I knew and the Sonoro world created by the Fraxidus began to blur. But in those 3 days of the story where Cartathea didn't rescue me, I would always die on the first day, helplessly watching as my home slowly crumbled to dust. Is there anything else you want to know? I'll hold nothing back. Cartathea saved me. The me who had lost her role and her memories. We wandered the abandoned city of Septimont and pieced together that the Fraxidus and the Threnodian were the true architects of the chaos. Yet in the end, my role was claimed by the Threnodian, and my body disappeared before Cartathea's eyes. But before I was lost to oblivion, Cartathea gave me a sliver of her frequency. I think it was that frequency that unknowingly led to our paths crossing in the story. Is there anything else you want to know? I'll hold nothing back. Many years ago, Mia cast herself into the sea to escape the Threnodian's control. But Domina Julia recovered her broken body from the depths and handed it over to the Fraxidus. For years, they subjected her remains to twisted experiments until the Threnodian's essence, still lingering within her, finally awakened. The Threnodian took control of Mia's corpse, turning it into a half-human, half-sea creature monstrosity. It formed an alliance with the Fraxidus. The last trace of Mia's reverberation was forced to be part of it, tortured and ravaged. Is there anything else you want to know? I'll hold nothing back. Oh, the script and the copper mirror you gave me. I'll return them to you now. It was a long story, but the ending turned out well. Though, thinking of Mia still upsets me. Her reverberations, trapped in that monstrous body. I can't imagine her suffering over the last 20 years.
When you defeated the Threnodian, you also set her free.
Yes. It was an honor to have that final battle with her. Thanks to you and Cartathea, I was able to rewrite the tragic ending of this story. Thank you, my fellow warrior, for believing in me.
When I sensed the Threnodian's power here in Septimont, I immediately set out to find its source. It was quite sudden. I slipped through the smallest of cracks to enter this Sonoro, which severed my contact with the outside world. I found Lupa in the city. She had lost her role. We traveled together for a time and discovered the architects of the destruction, the Fraxidus playwright Cristoforo and the Threnodian. Sadly, the playwright did eventually erase Lupa's existence. As for me, I descended into the submerged aqueducts where I found the Threnodian. It had inhabited Mia's remains and was hiding within an experimental unit. Unfortunately, I was unable to eliminate it entirely. It evaded me, slipping into hiding. I reasoned that you would sense the anomaly and come to Septimont, so I sought to offer you my aid. I battled the playwright, and in doing so, stripped him of his ability to control the script. Afterward, he, along with the other Fraxidus overseers, fled from me. With that, the Sonoro began to collapse. It was then that we finally met. Is there anything else you wish to ask, Righteous One? Lupa and I formed a few theories during our investigation, though they may not be entirely accurate. In this Sonoro, where stories manifest as reality, roles define the identities of those within it. To lose your role is to lose both your name and memory. In truth, Mia has long since passed and does not truly exist here. It was Lupa, not Mia, who won the 3-day Aegon. I suspect the stories created by the playwright cannot stray too far from their original frameworks, a limitation of his resonance ability. This is why he erased Lupa's name, swapping her and Mia's identities. This allowed Mia to summon the Dark Tide upon Septimont. Is there anything else you wish to ask, Righteous One? The central hub within the Veil of Glory was established by the Sentinel, and it appears no one had ever entered it before. Activating it requires 2 key conditions: victory, which grants the blessing bestowed by the Lioness of Glory through the Sentinel's mandate, and a trace of the Sentinel's frequency. The Threnodian set its sights on Mia for this very reason, which, in turn, brought its attention to Lupa. I struck a significant blow to the Threnodian within the story, but because I failed to prevent the corruption of the central hub earlier, it endured, drawing strength from that source.
Throughout this journey, I often saw the figures of Lupa and Mia overlap.
It seems the Threnodian was attempting to replace Lupa, hoping to use her to corrupt the hub, siphon its power, and ultimately destroy Renacita. Is there anything else you wish to ask, Righteous One? Apart from the playwright, I also encountered 2 other Fraxidus leaders. One, a woman with a bandaged eye, the other a man with scars across his face.
Surely they must be Frolova and Scar. But how is Scar in Renacita?
Unfortunately, I never had the chance to confront either of them directly. I saw them only briefly before they disappeared. I'm not sure why they've gathered here in Septimont. We must prepare for whatever plans they have. Is there anything else you wish to ask, Righteous One? The Threnodian's frequency has vanished from Septimont, but I fear this is far from over. There is something else. Perhaps due to the Dark Tide in the Sonoro, I can feel my balance shifting. The Threnodian's pull is growing stronger. Now that I think of it, this could very well be part of the Fraxidus' plan.
You need to head to the Black Shores, Cardathia. They've been dealing with the Threnodian for years. You should go there and run some tests. They'll know how to handle what's coming.
The Black Shores? Is that where you're from? If it's a place you trust, then I will go. There's one more thing. We should return to the central hub in Septimont. I found something tied to you there.
The central hub. Good timing. There's something I need to handle in the Veil of Glory, too.
Good. Let's set off together.
When Lupa vanished, I destroyed the experimental unit, pursued the Threnodian, and defeated the Lioness of Glory it controlled. Then, I came across this place. You remember how the Threnodian took on a part of the Sentinel's knowledge and permissions, yes? For the Sentinel, the information stolen was their very memories. For this reason, even the Sentinel forgot that before merging with the Threnodian, they transferred some of their knowledge to the central hub in Septimont.
The knowledge they would later forget.
It was a secret, one the Threnodian should never learn. The Sentinel moved it there for safekeeping. Within it, I found a special frequency. A part of it felt like yours. I believe it's what the Sentinel left for you, so I took it.
Huh?
It seems like a clue. The true secret they left for you is not here, but in that direction. You see, before I came to meet you, I passed by the city of Septimont. The arena I destroyed has been restored, but in the people's hearts, it's still the Righteous One and Lupa who claimed victory. The Fraxidus' power to reshape reality is deeper than we realized. I'm afraid this is just the beginning. I once believed the Threnodians sought to use the Fraxidus to regain power, but its true goal is the central hub. I believe it's due to this secret the Sentinel has hidden.
That direction. It leads to the hunting grounds. The blight cloud still lingers there. When the high tide comes, Septimontians hunt and cull the spawning tacit discords.
The dark tide connects everything. I cannot pinpoint where the Sentinel's message lies. I'm afraid you must go there yourself. But the worst of the storm has passed. Let's... Lupa, will you be our tour guide? Show us the sights and glories of Septimont? I'd love to hear more about what you mentioned earlier. The wind blowing through golden flags and the sound of wind chimes.
Of course, it would be my honor. But before we go, there's something I need to do first.
Travel through a silver veil above the drifting mist. A shining path.
It's Mia's sword. I went through a lot to bring it back. The monster is gone now. Like so many Septimontian heroes whose bodies were never recovered, wanted to return her weapon.
Skies unknown, till
This is where she gave her life. I can't say if she loved or hated Septimont more.
and ignites, reveals beneath an obsidian sea.
But she once spoke of the bloodleaf viburnum. It's a tribute often given to gladiators by their supporters. So, I think, she would have wanted to rest here.
Griffins call, banners gold, glory haunts beyond the clouds.
It's beautiful. Our city, the city of glory. The people here love to drink, laugh, carve statues, and hunt. It burns like fire, drenched in both victory and defeat. It holds all our disappointments and all our hopes.